Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, you find a way to lose. You can also find yourself getting mixed up with the wrong people and be guilty. Let me tell you something. Bob Arum, there was an article that came out on BoxingScene.com. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, I just want to say thank you. But you know I'm always talking about the secret society. Come to Tyson Fury, Kinahan, corruption in boxing, in particular how Tyson Fury got back to the top of the heavyweight division. It should be of no surprise that I'm going to talk about this article that was recently published on BoxingScene.com. This is where old Bob Arum has come out now, and he's saying that he regrets working with Daniel Kinahan. Now, I'm going to tell you this, right? And this is my opinion. Bob Arum needs to hold his horses and stop taking it to the stupid. Even you all who are Tyson Fury fans, fans of Top Rank, you must conclude that Bob Arum knew exactly who he was working with, what he was getting involved with, and that him paying consultation fees, $2 million on several occasions to Daniel Kinahan to consult on fights for Tyson Fury. If you don't conclude that the secret society was in full effect and Tyson Fury was being protected and allowed to get away with some shit going into those water fights, then I don't know what it's going to take for you guys to not put emotion into it and just say, you know what, even if, I'm going to say this, even if you don't buy into this 100%, right? You can't tell me that, all right, man, there's a lot of smoke there. And if there's a lot of smoke, maybe there's some fire nearby. Because I'm not, these aren't my words. Check this out, right? So the article, I'm just going to skim over it and then kind of fill in the gaps. Bob Arum goes on to say how he now regrets working with Daniel Kinahan. Now, Kinahan remains wanted by the Irish and American authorities for his links to criminality after being named the head of the Kinahan organized crime gang alongside his father, Christy, and brother, Christopher, in 2022 in a joint announcement by Irish and American authorities. Speaking to the Irish Mirror, Arum concedes, now this is where the shit gets thick. He fell for Kinahan's charm and said Kinahan told him he wanted to clean up his act, become involved in this boxing business, and be a role model for his children. Yo, Bob, hold your horse and stop taking it to the stupid. So if Bob would have been a virgin, Kinahan would have got him a little box of chocolates or rolls, held his hand, and popped his cherry in the backseat of Papa's Mustang. Get out of here with that. He fell for Kinahan's charm? What the hell is a man that's 70 plus years old, 82 now, 84 now, but 70 plus years old at the time, how you letting some young man come in here and put charm on you? That lowered your guard, you being a guy who has a law background, was a lawyer, you're going to let him bring your guard down, right? With your background in law to start doing business with him? Y'all, come on, man. Are y'all buying into this? Bob Arum goes on and says that Kinahan, he told me that he was getting into boxing because he'd done bad things in the past. He wanted to reform himself. Arum told the newspaper. He told me that he wanted to clean up his name because he wanted to be a role model for his kids. Man, come on now. I'm going to tell you this right here. I know for me, I heard as a young kid, hey, you are the company that you keep. I had some friends that would come by the house. Some of those guys were good guys. We were all mischievous and getting into shit. But there were some guys, my dad, man, my dad from the West Indies, man, he just lock in on them. Be like, hey, I don't want that boy coming in this yard. Get that fella out this yard. I don't want him coming nowhere near this house. And I used to be like, damn, man, that's my friend. My dad didn't care. He ain't want to hear none of that shit. And you know, if you know you got a West Indian parent or West Indian people, you know, they can get pretty colorful with with the way they say things. So my dad wasn't trying to hear that because he could just tell that this person here looked like bad news, and if he just looked like bad news, my dad didn't need to wait around to figure out if see if they smell like bad news. He just didn't want them around the house and around his kids. So when it comes to Bob Arum being, in an advanced age, can't sit here and tell me that this guy comes and says he wants to reform himself, and you, been in the boxing business for all this time, just go get involved with a guy who had a reputation, not just for drugs and murder, but for corruption in boxing. Influencing judges, influencing referees, influencing the commission, using intimidation. But Bob Arum chose to get involved with him. What I'm telling you are facts, like I'm not making this shit up. So Arum and Kinahan worked closely together in previous years, which saw the likes of Tyson Fury, Carl Frampton, and Josh Taylor all ink promotional contracts with Arum's top-ranked promotional entity. Now, Bob Arum denied that Kinahan discussed and explored the possibility of buying Arum's top-ranked promotional company, and Arum insisted that he had no intention of selling the promotional firm he built to Kinahan. Bob Arum did say that maybe Kinahan was thinking about it in his head, but he never approached us, and that's the last thing we would have done. I'm going to tell you this, was it last year? There were some talks about Bob Arum and his health and possibly selling Top Rank. We know that Oscar De La Hoya, around that time, maybe a couple of years ago, De La Hoya was talking about selling Golden Boy, and that, somebody was going to offer him $1 billion. I don't know if you guys remember that. The article's out there. I'm not making this up. Like, this isn't one of the videos where I'm just joking and having fun with it. I don't know, what I'm telling you is the truth. You can go look it up. So it makes you wonder if there's some truth to Daniel Kinahan, maybe not him being the person to be the face of it, but for him to be behind possibly purchasing Top Rank or having a discussion, and possibly purchasing Golden Boy, or at least having a discussion. But right here it says, despite Kinahan's previous successful charm offensive on Arum, the 92-year-old concedes he was aware of Kinahan's reputation but could not find any proof regarding his involvement in criminality before the U.S. imposed sanctions upon the alleged cartel leader almost 2 years ago in 2022. Now, Arum goes on to say he was aware of Kinahan's reputation but could not find any proof regarding his involvement in criminality. Now, remember, Bob Arum, before he got into promoting boxing matches, he was a lawyer. And you're going to sit here and tell me a guy who comes from a law background is going to all of a sudden start rubbing shoulders and mingling with someone who has a reputation for being involved with criminality? But you guys want to really believe that. Y'all want to accept that, right? I would have done it too. That's what some of y'all are saying. There's no proof of anything. It's just rumors. There's no truth to it. Bob Arum didn't do anything wrong getting involved with Kinahan. Why would anyone think there was any foul play? Yeah, they got involved with Kinahan, signed Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury is working with Kinahan. Although Kinahan has Bob Arum has a background in law, Kinahan's background is in criminality. No reason to believe there was any foul play going on to help Tyson Fury. In Kinahan's own words, per Ben Davison, Kinahan was a godsend, and per Ben Davison, Kinahan told Tyson Fury, if you trust in me, I'll get you back to the top. of the heavyweight division and lead you to unimaginable wealth. But everybody wants to sit there, oh, Hood Champion, the secret society. Here he goes again. He's over there. Hood Champ, he's a character. He's funny. This is entertaining. No, I'm serious as hell, man. Y'all think I may say it funny. I may have a little fun with the topic, but this is serious shit, man. You can't make me believe that Bob Arum didn't know what he was getting into. And for him to give the millions of dollars in consultation fees to a guy who he knows has a background in criminality and just a bad person. And then Bob goes on to, because before he was acting like he didn't know anything about, remember, before Bob was acting like he didn't know anything about Daniel Kinahan. Now he's saying we knew the history because obviously it was there if you Google it. But we didn't see anything that he was doing wrong. We saw no evidence that he was a drug dealer, which is all bullcrap. When the U.S. authorities sanctioned Kinahan, this is when Arum admitted he was shocked by the revelations, but felt the U.S. government would not have taken such measures without evidence. And now he's saying apparently that wasn't the case. If that wasn't the case, then Joe Biden wouldn't have brought in the sanctions on Kinahan. Bob Arum says, I'm not a naive guy. I have a law background. So here it is. He's admitting to having a law background and was in the Justice Department. I bought into what Kinahan told me because I didn't see anything to the contrary. Once Biden brought in the sanctions, I said, whoa, I missed what was going on. So sure, in that respect, I have regrets. Okay, now, Bob Arum is so full of malarkey. I bought into what Kinahan told me because I didn't see anything to the contrary. Why would Bob Arum get involved with a guy? Because how many people you know who are doing crime and out here breaking the law is going to put that right in your face? And if you're a guy who has a law background and you have a successful business, why would you get involved with somebody that's so high risk? And why would you give them millions of dollars? That's all I'm saying. You can't make me believe what this guy is saying. Full of crap. Bob Arum is guilty. Tyson Fury. Now this is my opinion. I think Bob Arum is guilty. I think he knew what he was doing. I think there was corruption. Bob Arum's name has been mixed up in corruption before. What's his name? Don King. And there's some other promoters. You can go Google it. Some interesting articles about corruption and shit they were doing years ago. The Sugar Ray Leonard era. Go and read up on that. It'll blow your mind and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the secret society and the corruption in boxing. This shit's been around for years. Y'all living underneath a rock if you don't believe that. I'm not making this stuff up. But how are you going to be a guy with a successful business? It's like me, like today. I had somebody contacted me today for an over-the-phone discussion that could lead to an interview because I'm thinking about returning to work because I have a lot of time, And they were doing they had a thorough discussion with me, and then next step is a background check, make sure my security clearance is still active, etc., etc. They're not just going to bring me onto the job without making sure that everything about me is what I say it is. So you mean to tell me a guy like Bob Arum, who's worth millions, didn't do a thorough background check on a potential business partner? Get out of here, man. I just went through that shit this morning. I did one last week as well. They actually checked my security clearance over the phone. They had some system, typed in my social and everything, and boom, they were like, yep, everything's still good. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it, man. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. I don't know who's the worst liar, Bob Arum or Donald Trump. Crazy. Some people feel that Bob Arum may be a detriment to the sport, as in, a lot of other promoters. But, Bob Arum's smart. And if Bob Arum got to this position by outsmarting others, then I guess you could say, hey, respect to you. But I'll tell you what, Bob Arum, to me, is looking more and more like a crook. Maybe he should have got out of boxing kind of like Don King did, because he's too old to be going through any crap and dealing with stress and possibly going to court to talk about the criminality with the Irish cartel and Kinahan and Bob Arum's involvement and the corruption and Tyson Fury and everyone else who may have benefited from the Irish cartel in boxing. Like, this is, y'all, see, because it's gone quiet, don't think for 1 second that it's gone away. Do not for 1 second think this has gone away. And out of all these guys, Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, you know who's the one person who probably the most honest? And sounds crazy to hear me say this, is Oscar De La Hoya may be the most honest promoter out there right now. All his business is out in the street, but you don't hear no shit about him being involved in corruption. He may drink, he may cheat, he may do coke, he may have hookers. Ain't no telling what the hell Oscar De La Hoya is doing. Splashing hot cups of yogurt on his wife's back. Who knows what weird shit Oscar has going on. But you don't hear about him being mixed up in no damn shady business with no Kinahan and all this crazy shit. That being said, y'all form your own opinions. But the question for me is, why would Bob get involved with him without doing a background check when he already knew the guy's reputation? And how in the world was Bob Arum, why would he pay this man millions of dollars? And then also, someone needs to come out and talk about those statements made. When Ben Davison was there and he heard it, and he actually, you can go and look it up right online. How in the hell Tyson Fury was able to achieve what Daniel Kinahan told him he would help him achieve if he trusted him, getting back to the top of the heavyweight division and leading him to unimaginable wealth. Look at where Tyson Fury is. Look at Tyson Fury's behavior. Look at his antics. Somebody said something the other day. Now, these aren't my words, so don't take offense to it, right? I didn't say it. Someone wrote it in the comments yesterday underneath the video I did about gypsy excuses. They said Tyson Fury is an extreme case of like white privilege, right? Now, I understand what the subscriber is trying to say, but I don't agree with that. What it is to me is Tyson Fury, I don't see that as white privilege. I just see it as someone who's protected and acting the ass. And know that they can act the ass because there's nothing going to happen to them. So I don't think it has anything to do with race. I think it has to do with being involved with with corruption and, like I always say, the secret society. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I hope they keep digging, which I know they are, but once all the facts come out and they blow this case out the water, because Daniel Kinahan's still over there in the UAE. There's a reason why he hasn't been extradited back to the United States, because he's being protected. Simple, right? I asked you this, right? Why wouldn't they send him back? You know where he is. Y'all get out of here with that. That man, that's some serious stuff going on here. Serious stuff going on here, man. And we sit here behind our little computers and read a few articles, watch a few videos, and then try to speak intelligently on something where we really don't even have a nugget of information. Like, the layers you'd have to peel back to really understand what's going on. It'll blow your mind. But hopefully they blow this thing out the water. Especially, like, I don't care about Kinahan and the drugs. I don't really care to hear about that. I want to hear about his involvement in boxing. Like, that's what I want to hear about. That whole trial that takes place, I don't want to hear nothing about the murders, the drugs. So what? The boxing. Boxers who benefited. Where was the corruption? Who? That's what I want to know. Because that shit right there, I think you're going to send shockwaves throughout the boxing world. But I already have a goddamn idea. I mean, shit. A blind man can see there's something going on here. And who it's going on with. I'm in the breeze.